SMD Law is the official law firm of the Spartan Nation. Check them out on the interwebs at smdalaw.com or at 866-529-3537. No matter where you are in the state of Michigan, Upper Peninsula, Lower Peninsula, it doesn't matter. They have an office near you. So whether you need to send a letter to an annoying neighbor, or you're a criminal and you need defense, maybe you just have problems with elder law, check them out, smdalaw.com today. The official law firm of the Spartan Nation. Call them first, then you act.
Real quick, played very well, really on offensively, obviously, and then defensively as well. I was able to stop the run, contested the passes. I think we only gave up a couple plays, over 20 yards on defense. And offensively, we had a lot of explosive plays, probably about 18 or so explosive, 11 plays of 15-yard runs or 20-yard passes. So no penalties by our offense at all, so that was a big positive. I thought Brian Lewerke had great rhythm, confidence in what he was doing. Big night by Elijah Collins, obviously, and then also Darryl Stewart, Cody White got in the action, but played extremely well in all aspects. Got to clean up a couple things on special teams with younger players, but we got what we asked for. We got a lot of effort, great effort, and we got great toughness, and they came to play with enthusiasm, and we focused on the moment, which that was sort of the theme. So I'll take some questions.
Mark, this is Hondo. I'm curious, after watching the film, was there anybody whose performance from field level maybe you didn't get to see, but on film really stuck out as a terrific performance?
I thought Tyreek Thompson played extremely well. He had some, good hits. He had a tough job, with the back, pre-releasing the back a lot, things of that nature. I thought, when you look at some of the different guys defensively, they all played in the back end. They played the ball well. It felt like going into the game, we had to be able to stop their throwing the ball in the deep part of the field, come away with it. So, and I thought we did do that. The offensive side of the ball, it's pretty obvious that Elijah Collins ran with explosiveness. Internally, on the offensive line, I thought Luke Campbell played well, got good play from both our tackles, Jordan Reed and Jarvis. And really the whole offensive line played well. Center was solid and the right guard was solid as well. The quarterback, 0 sacks. You don't have 0 sacks, no penalties, and a lot of explosive plays. Good things are going to happen. We did turn the ball over twice, but we're able to handle that. We turned them away in red zone with an interception by Xavier Henderson.
Hey, Mark, it's Matt with M Live. I was wondering that triple I formation you guys broke out a couple times with, I think it was Jacob Asai and Matt Siebert with Ladarius behind it. How long have you guys been working on that, and how did that come to fruition?
Been doing that since the spring. So it's something that we've worked on. That's something that we had done in the past. Years ago when really J.U. Kalkrick and Javon Ringer were here.
Mark, Chris Solari. I know that you kind of have to watch that tape a little bit, but and you kind of touched on the offensive line. What exactly was it, do you feel, that was different? Was it the toughness? Was it just the individual assignments that the guys did better, or was it just a collective unit?
I think it's always collective. The tight ends are involved in this. Play calling is involved in this. Certainly got to get on your guy from an offensive line standpoint, and then you've got to have vision in terms of where you're going with the ball sometimes too. So it's all inclusive, pretty much like I said last week. It was all inclusive in the opposite direction. So, but again, what we need to get is consistency in our performance. And I think we'll get that. I think this is, Western Michigan had 9 starters back on defense. They do a lot of movement, a lot of pressure, a lot of blitzing. So, for us to be able to do what we did in that type of fashion was a big positive.
as a follow-up to that, you were able to get Dobb and Baymax and the snaps at the end. In terms of getting them soaked like you guys like to do, is that kind of that first step to them maybe trying to join this group?
Yeah, I think it's the first step of giving them some game snaps. I thought they both played well, and they were impressive. Good athletes, and they show power. But the game's moving faster on the game night or game day, and remains to be seen how far they come. But we did use the one game with the 4 games, and then we'll see. And I just want to make sure we want to make sure that as we go forward that if we're going to play more than 4 games, it's more like 8 or 9. It's not 5. So we'll be careful with that as we go. Jacob Asai played a couple plays at the F position in that straight eye, and then also Mustafa played a little bit.
Hey, Mark, Matt Wenzel with MLive again. It's been a while since you got, a lot of close games obviously last year and to start this year last week, but what was, going back to really the Holiday Bowl, this was 2017, what was it like just being in that situation where you could enter the fourth quarter without stress? You could play both 2 backup quarterbacks and not really have to spread it down the stretch for the first time in a while.
This is an easy job. That's what I was thinking. Never had it so good.
Hey, Mark, Matt Charbonneau, and I know you're now tied with Duffy Doherty, and you've talked about it a little bit, but, with your name there in the same spot as his, do you even take a second to think about that, or are you two kind of wrapped up in the season?
Well, I think being 2-0 is more important. I think short term, maybe long term it's not, but short term and being 3-0 will be more important than 110 short term. Long term, though, again, it's pretty much like I've said. I think it's a moment in time where a lot of people can collectively say we were involved in this, and there are so many people that are involved in this process, from my hiring to the support that I've gotten here from administration, from other athletic department, from Coach Izzo, from all the other coaches, so many different players have been here. Guys who've gone to the NFL, guys that haven't. So our coaches, the continuity, our staff. We have continuity within our staff as well. Our trainers and equipment, and it's just so many people that are involved in a program of this size and really across the country. I will say that I did think about it today, and it's a different time. When Duffy did his, it was a different time, and I think that one thing that he can be pointed when you look at him and you can point forward. And I was going to talk about this on Tuesday a little bit, but the racial barrier, the integration of college football, he was so involved in that, and what he was able to do from that perspective for college football, I think was very unique and was a pioneer in so many different ways. We've done this, from 2007 till now, so it's a later time in football. Maybe a little bit different because there's not as many coaches maybe staying in the same place as anymore. So it's a little bit different, and that in itself is a little bit trying. So there's two different themes there, I think, when those things happened. But I think it should be recognized what Duffy did in his time and the national championships he won.
Mark, it's Chris Solari. Along with that, getting that win the way that the offense played, the way that the defense played, does that make it kind of a better moment for you to see that all those parts coming together at once? For me personally, it's not so much. Again, it's long term. Maybe that's something you can point to, but much more rewarding when you get the win and everything's going correctly, and you have positive things happening on all sides of the ball. And even on special teams, we had no penalties, and had a punt return, and got a muffed punt that they muffed, so we got a fumble recovery. So there were good things in that regard as well. So you feel better about things when everything's moving forward, especially at this time of the year. And I think that was
it was a big win for us. And, now we have an opportunity to focus on our next chapter.
Hey, Mark, Matt Wenzel with MLab again. The throwback to Brian on the reverse, kind of like the play you guys ran against Michigan last year. He tried to dive in from the 4-yard line with two guys in front of him, kind of joked that he doesn't know if that's ever worked in football before. What was your reaction to that play live and rewatching it on film?
I thought it was a great play call. It was set up correctly and executed. Only thing I wish he would have got in there untouched. But he made the effort.